Hello there everybody, you're the audience, my name is Supersonic Blur, and welcome back to the next episode of Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright. Last time, we heard from one Arthur Cantabella, aka Mr. Storyteller. Just what the hell is going on here? Turns out this whole place is, well, there's a lot going on here. However, we now need to question some things. TLDR, people don't have memories from longer than 10 years ago, but Isabella does. So what was going on there? I was just a little girl then. It happened during the annual fire festival. Everyone was gathered in the town square for the fire festival. I was watching them from the bell tower. The great witch Bezella awoke within me and brought calamity upon the town. An enormous fire dragon appeared. I was trembling with fear, terrified by what I had summoned. Witness, what you have just told us wasn't a bad dream or fairy tale, but what you actually experienced? Yes, it was, like I have already said. I remember it very clearly. The heat from the fire, the smell of smoke,
Isabella, what are you talking about?
The defense may cross-examine the witness. Thank you, Your Honor. Was there really a huge fire that destroyed the town? And what about Bezella? Is she even real? The answers are in Isabella's testimony. Okay, well, the only way we're gonna do that is by digging a little deeper. You were just a little girl then. Do you remember what age you were around that time? I'm not quite sure, but I think I was 6 or 7.
And how old are you now?
I'm 18 years old.
That means those events did take place more than 10 years ago. It's very odd that you have memories that old, but perhaps you've mistaken about your age at the time. Objection. Your Honor, no one besides Isabella has witnessed the legendary fire, which would mean that the incident occurred before Labyrinthia was created, over 10 years ago.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all. How many times do I need to tell you? There are no witches, no magic. The legendary fire is just a story. This interrogation serves no purpose.
Mr. Cantabella, the court asks you to be quiet during another witness's testimony unless you are asked to speak. Yeah. Everyone was gathered at the town square for the fire festival.
Hold it!
Could you tell us a little more about this fire festival you were watching? Yes, it seems to be an ancient custom in the area. The townspeople make a fire offering to the great witch Bezella so that she will not bring misfortune upon them. A great fire is lit in the middle of the town square. The festival lasts all night long. That's correct. The festival takes place once every year. It is quite magnificent with all the townsfolk assembled in the square. Unless it is a counterfeit memory, imprinted in our minds by you.
No, this festival has been held here since before I was born. It appears to be a very old custom indeed.
By the way, why were you in the bell tower in the first place? Huh? You know, you said everyone was at the town square. Why weren't you there? I can't remember. I probably went there because Bezella awoke within me.
Despite having vivid memories of the fire, you do not remember much of anything else that occurred at the time.
Yes. I was at the top of the bell tower, looking down at people in the town square. Someone was with me there. That's right. It was Eve. Eve? Her black cat, huh? I didn't think Eve was that old. Well, then... notice something. The Great Witch Bezella wrote within me and brought calamity upon the town.
Hold it!
What the hell does that mean? Do you remember casting a spell? I can't remember. Yeah. I don't trust the Cantabella. I don't want to talk to him right now. But the town perishing, and the flames so fast that it's engraved in my memory. Yeah, everything he's doing, every time she talks about any of this memory stuff, all he does is go, well, it's not true, it's not real. That must be a very harrowing memory. I think that whatever Bezella takes over my body, my consciousness drifts away. But I'm sure of it. There's no mistaking me about Bezella. What makes you so certain about it? Because Eve has always been with me. You mean that black cat? How is that relevant? According to the legend of Bezella, she is always accompanied by a black cat. That small furry animal is actually her minion, in the stories, that is. Eve was there with me. I'm sure she was. I saw the town engulfed in flames. These memories are causing her a lot of pain. Espella, hang in there. An enormous fire dragon appeared. I was trembling with fear, terrified by what I had summoned.
Hold it!
Can you tell me more about that fire dragon? That monstrous image is still so vivid. It looked just like the one that attacked Dad this evening. I have done something terrible again. Then you are sure that the fire dragon you saw more than 10 years ago and the one summoned this evening were exactly the same? Yes, they were definitely the same. Now this I am curious about. Because this doesn't make sense. Is something wrong, Mr. Cantabella? How could he know what her memories were on that? It's impossible. There's no such thing as magic. You never believe me, Dad. I don't know why you have to be like this. There was a time when things were different. Espella, what are you saying? Look at them. It's like a common argument between a teenager and a parent. Mr. Cantabella created this town. He knows better than anyone else that there's no magic here. Miss Cantabella. Yes? Would you mind giving us more details on what you saw? Could I borrow a sheet of parchment and a pencil? I think it'll be better if I draw it. Your request shall be granted. Bring parchment and a pencil for the witness immediately. That's a very detailed drawing. This is it. This is the fire dragon that I saw that night. I only caught a glimpse of it, but it was real. I must say, it does closely resemble the supposedly magical creature we witnessed this evening. It does indeed. This drawing shall be added to the evidence. This is a farce. What happened over a decade ago? Was the town really destroyed by a fire dragon? Discovering the truth about the dragon shall be our next objective. Witness, continue the testimony. Yes, my lord. I was just a little girl then. It happened during the annual fire festival. Everyone was gathered at the thing. The Great Witch Bezella awoke within me and brought calamity upon the town. Well, we've got evidence that proves that something happened, at the very least, so I guess we could talk to Cantabella about it this time. I cannot remember.
Hang on!
Now we'll talk to you, because you look upset, Mr. Cantabella.
Pardon me. Did you want something?
I'd like to know what you think about Ispella's last statement.
My opinion about all this has not changed since last time. It is all just a dream. Listen to me, Ispella. You are not Pizzella. There was no legendary fire.
Dad, you have no idea how much I want to believe you, but I just can't. I remember what I saw and how it felt. The heat, the smoke.
Magic doesn't exist. It belongs in fairy tales. There are no fire dragons either.
Ispella seems certain that she saw a fire dragon at that time. However, as long as we do not have any evidence to support or disprove that claim, we cannot make any progress. Do I have any relevant evidence? I mean, we just got given some. Anything that could demonstrate I have evidence. Your Honor, what is it, defender? The defense will present evidence.
Evidence? I suppose you mean evidence that will prove that my daughter's memories of the dragon amount to nothing more than wild imagination.
Actually, on the contrary, I'm pretty positive that Ispella did see the dragon.
What? I thought you had more sense in you.
Well, aren't we all curious about what the defense has got to show us? Present evidence that proves a dragon appeared in this town over 10 years ago. What's interesting, though, is that this event is called legendary because it's supposed to be from a very, very long time ago. It is, of course, Ispella's drawing of the dragon. It's impossible to draw a dragon with so much detail unless you've actually seen it. Indeed. And it looks very much like the fire dragon we saw this evening. It cannot be a mere coincidence.
You cannot possibly use that drawing as evidence.
And why not?
Because she could have just drawn the dragon from this evening.
Dad, why don't you believe me? I saw that dragon when I was little.
This town is my creation. I know everything about it, and I assure you there is no magic. And if there's anyone who can tell you what's possible and what is not, it is me, the creator of Labyrinthia.
Your overconfidence has clouded your judgment, and it is preventing you from seeing the truth.
What do you mean?
In order to see what is real there, you need to reject biased assumptions and keep an open mind. You are overlooking certain facts precisely because you are the creator of this town.
It's nothing short of insanity.
Magic doesn't exist, and yet Ispella says she saw a fire dragon. It seems like a contradiction, but perhaps it is not. Mr. Wright? Yes? The solution to this mystery is out there. We just need to find it. Do you suppose you know where it is? Magic doesn't exist. Ispella saw a fire dragon. Where is the evidence that brings the gap between the two? In the town itself. It's got to be. Ispella was watching the town burn at the time. She says she saw an enormous fire dragon. Now, if you put the two together, I think our best guess is that the dragon she saw was the town itself. This town? In other words, Ispella saw a dragon's shape looming over the burning town.
How absurd! That's mere speculation.
I will not dispute that. However, it is entirely possible to test our theory.
What? And how would you go about doing that?
It is all quite simple, Mr. Storyteller. We will now go to the belfry. Maybe we'll find that fire dragon there. The belfry. The one place that has not been searched. The one place that hasn't properly been looked at. Over 10 years ago,
The witness was standing somewhere around here when she saw a fire dragon. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Layton.
However, what was it that you actually saw then? Let us see if we can find the answer to that question. Why not? Go ahead and try. But I have warned you it is futile. You will find nothing here.
Well, it happened a long time ago. Whatever she saw might not be here anymore. And if we want to see exactly what she saw at the time, we'll need to set the whole town on fire. Want me to go get some matches? I may be an attorney, but even I couldn't clear you of the charges of you actually committing a crime, Maya!
I will pretend I did not hear that. Shall we begin?
Maya, your enthusiasm is nice, but not helpful here.
Let us look for the fire dragon. We can see the whole town from here. Look in every direction for something that would resemble Miss Cantabella's drawing.
Well, look what we've got here down the bottom. We've got to think, Ispella's not that tall if she was 6, so she can't be very high, so I doubt she'd look out over the town. Instead, we've got to look around here-ish. Nothing this side. Down here we've got a face, but that's not a dragon. I wonder... a king? And finally... a dragon.
Take that!
Ispella, could you have a look at this? It looks like the dragon was hiding in here after all. Oh, this is... Hey! It's identical to the one Ispella drew. But, it's not the fire dragon. The fire dragon was a creature made of flames. It was so big it could swallow this whole town. This is just some tiny fretwork.
I think we can consider this mystery solved. I suggest we all head back to the court. I will explain everything there. Is that all right with you, Mr. Cantabella?
What's gone into Mr. Cantabella? He looks paler than you do with a cold. I have no idea. Let's just follow the others back to the courtroom.
The Inquisitor's investigation seemed to have yielded some unexpected results. But can someone explain them to me? Your Honor, the Inquisition will interpret the results of its investigation. Witness, you said you were about 6 years old at the time of that incident. Whoops, didn't mean to click that.
Yes, that's right.
Did you see the moment that the dragon appeared above the town?
Huh? No, I don't remember. I remember seeing it at some point. It was like a flash. The town was ablaze and this fiery beast was hovering above it.
Then, when you noticed the dragon, the town was already engulfed by flames?
Yes.
That information completes the picture. Miss Cantabella's statement has offered me an insight into the true story of the fire dragon. Over 10 years ago, Miss Cantabella was in the belfry, unconscious. What events led to this? Perhaps we will discover that in due course. By that he means I already know. When she awoke, the whole town was on fire. Having inhaled much smoke, she was still dazed. She was only vaguely aware of her surroundings when she looked up, alarmed by the scorching heat. Unable to stand, she was on her knees. And then, she saw something she would remember her whole life. Yes. She saw a terrifying fire dragon attacking the town. She saw it through the fretwork in the balustrade. In the balustrade. I think it's balustrade. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce those words. but it's okay. The shape of a dragon against a backdrop of the town being swallowed up by flames became imprinted in her memory. That is the truth about the fire dragon. This is what I have deduced.
It wasn't a monster?
Miss Cantabella, the illustration that you have drawn for us bears an uncanny resemblance to the fretwork in the belfry. You saw the dragon when you were confused, possibly mildly asphyxiated from the smoke. There was no magic and no magical beast. You believe a stranger, but not your father. That's so typical of a teenager. You should have listened to me. And now that all the mysteries have been unraveled, can we not end this trial and go home?
Objection.
Not quite. There's still some things left unsaid. As much as we'd all like to, I'm afraid it is still a bit too early for that. What else do you want from us? There is just one more problem I'd like to solve tonight.
One more? What on earth could it be?
Miss Cantabella, we've ascertained that you were in the belfry when you saw the dragon. However, that creates a new question. How did you get there?
Oh, I haven't thought of that. Yeah, neither have I. Oh, wait!
As expected of an ace attorney, Mr. Wright, you seems to have noticed the problem too, at last. In order to access the belfry, you need to use the bell tower mechanism.
The mechanism can only be set in motion with the pendants.
Indeed. Miss Cantabella, did you have your pendant with you at the time?
Yes, I think I did. I always had it with me. But why did I have that pendant? I can't remember it at all. This pendant is not just for show. This is the key to the belfry. Why was she carrying it around?
We must also not forget that one pendant does not suffice to operate the contraption. 2 of them are required.
2 pendants?
Miss Cantabella, are you certain that you are alone in the belfry?
No, I wasn't alone. I was there with a friend. What friend? Oh, Eve. Eve, where did you go off to?
The friend you mentioned, was this cat?
Yes, she's my best friend. We've always been together. Without Eve, I would have been so lonely. That kitty's always appearing out of nowhere to keep Espella company. Of course she does. After all, Bizella is always accompanied by a black cat.
What you saw from the bell tower when you were little was so terrifying that even an adult would have been scarred for life. The town burned in front of your eyes. You thought you saw a fire dragon. You see, your memories have been twisted by the horrors you saw.
What do you mean?
The dragon you saw wasn't real, and I suspect that the friend who was with you in the bell tower might not have been that cat.
No, it was her! It was Eve, my only friend!
Miss Cantabella, the pendant needed access to the belfry is too large for a cat. Are you following? If Eve was with you, it would have been impossible for you to have entered the belfry. Wait! Inquisitor, where is this going? You have no right to tamper with my daughter's memories. You are right, of course. However, neither do you. Nor should you attempt to cover up the truth.
No, you're wrong. Eve was my only friend.
Think about that day again, Miss Cantabella. You were at the top of the bell tower with a friend who also had a pendant. Well then, why don't we just have the defense present some evidence? Can you prove that someone was with Miss Cantabella in the belfry that day? If so, I'd very much like to see the evidence.
What? Why me? It was the professor's idea! I have nothing on the legendary fire! Why ask me for proof?
Right. I suppose you wouldn't have any proof. Not one of us remembers that incident. I've had enough of this, Your Honor. You have no grounds to continue this trial. Well, we appear to have reached a dead end. There is nothing else for us to do.
Objection.
I will present evidence. Please, hold on, Your Honor. Oh, what is all this of a sudden? Inquisitor Layton? The defense does not have the necessary evidence, but someone else does.
What do you mean?
This time, the Inquisition will present its evidence.
The Inquisition will present evidence? Wait, seriously?
You son of a witch. This is what you wanted from the very start, isn't it? Well, in that case, the Inquisition shall present evidence that somebody was with Miss Cantabella at the bell tower when she saw the fire dragon. The answer is the picture of two girls. I love that. Have a look. This is the proof. This photograph shows Miss Cantabella with a friend. Golly, this is the finest illustration I have ever seen. Oh, I went to the wrong judge there. It's a photograph. It looks as if it were a reflection of the real world on paper. Tell me, who created this exquisite work of art? Well, Your Honor, I understand you are fascinated, but let us focus on what this picture shows. The picture was found in the Storyteller's Tower. Mr. Cantabella, we have taken the liberty of borrowing it for this trial. It's enough to look away for a second and you've already caused trouble.
Professor, aren't photographs against the rules? I mean, this is supposed to be a medieval setting.
Who cares? What's important now is helping Miss Cantabella to grasp the truth. And in this case, the end justifies the means. Please, take a closer look at the two girls in this picture. Each of them is wearing a pendant. Why, that is so. Those are the belfry contraption pendants. We know that one of these girls is Miss Cantabella. But then, who is the other girl? Accused, do you have any idea?
Isabella, are you okay? It doesn't look like she is. It's me. And the other girl I don't know.
Isabella! Your Honor, stop this trial! Stop it right now! Can't you see you're driving Isabella into insanity?
Objection.
It's just the opposite, Mr. Cantabella. If we turn away from the truth now, Isabella will close herself to the world forever. Mr. Wright?
Yes?
You know who it is, don't you? You know the identity of the other girl in this picture. Is that so? If the defense knows that, tell us all who this other girl is. There can be only one other. That kind of purple hair. And she's older than Isabella. Same color eyes.
Take that.
It's got to be.
I'm thinking it's High Inquisitor Darklaw.
High Inquisitor Darklaw? I cannot say I didn't have the slightest suspicion about her, but oh my. Miss Cantabella, what do you say? Do you now remember the girl next to you in this picture?
I was with Lady Darklaw.
This is crazy. What are you basing this preposterous claim on? But, Mr. Cantabella, this girl closely resembles the High Inquisitor. Resembles? That's just your personal opinion. It is meaningless in a court of law.
If you want evidence, I've got it.
What?
The definitive proof that this girl in the picture is High Inquisitor Darklaw is the pendant she was wearing. And this is the proof it was the High Inquisitor. The pendant needed for the contraption in the bell tower. I have Miss Darklaw's testimony here. She said this pendant was hers. And so, the other girl in this picture is definitely Miss Darklaw. Is it really? Oh, look at the cat. Look at that cat. Eve, where are you going?
I was expecting you, Miss Darklaw.
I see that I was not mistaken about you. I trusted in your ability to get this far.
Oh, High Inquisitor Darklaw, where did you just appear from?
Does your memory not serve you well, Your Honor? You know what I am. I can disappear at will at any time I wish. So, storyteller. Everything has worked out just as you had written. Oh, revered creator of Labyrinthia.
Darklaw.
Lady Darklaw. And now they all stand, but notice how she stands so far apart from them.
Miss Darklaw, did you enter the belfry with Miss Cantabella when you were little?
Yes, I did. Then you have memories of events from before 10 years ago. I certainly do.
Order! Order in the court!
Lady Darklaw, you were with me? Your memories have been suppressed by that man. But I was with Eve. Eve, huh? Eve the black cat. Yes, she's always been my dear friend. She was by my side on that day too. What a bizarre coincidence. Darklaw isn't my real name. What? Then what is your real name? It's Eve. What? What? You are Eve? No, Eve was with me. It was... Eve. Espella. My dear friend. Eve. It can't be. That flashback was real.
Darklaw, why are you doing this? Are you trying to undo everything I have accomplished in the past 10 years?
No, you've already ruined everything yourself.
What is it that you want?
What I want? My aim is to make the truth known, so that everything returns to how it should be. Miss Darklaw, will you tell us what you remember about what happened back then, more than 10 years ago? It would be my pleasure. It was the day of the fire festival. Espella and I went up to the bell tower. The wind was strong that day. When the sun had set, the festival began. It's true that the whole town burned down that day. The fire consumed buildings and people, turning them into ashes. We were the only survivors that stayed in the belfry while the world below us was being eaten up by the hungry flames. The legendary fire is no fable. It happened here more than 10 years ago.
Objection!
There is no such thing as magic and fire dragons, so how could the whole town just be destroyed in one night?
Yes, that is something I'd like to know as well. Even if we assume the celebratory fires got out of control, surely the whole town wouldn't have perished like that.
Judge, you might be onto something there. What if the fire got out of control? You would think someone would stop it, right? No one would let a fire burn. No one would be able to. I mean, it wouldn't sit right on their consciousness, would it? Or on their conscience. Now it all makes sense.
That was the missing piece of this puzzle.
What do you mean, Professor?
I can imagine now what transpired that night. What happened in the belfry, and what caused the legendary fire. We have all the clues we need. If the Inquisition has evidence to show us, I'd very much like to see it. What caused the legendary fire?
The Bell of Ruin. It's made from pure silver, and everyone here who drinks the water will fall unconscious.
Have a look.
The cause of the fire is in the belfry.
It was the bell?
That bell had been made by the natives and later sealed underground. It was called the Bell of Ruin.
Bell of Ruin?
By the way, why does this bell have such an ominous name?
Could it be because it's made of pure silver?
Pure silver? Exactly. Mr. Cantabella has told us earlier that everyone who lives here has a very peculiar condition. This condition makes people fall unconscious upon the sound of a certain metal being struck. And that metal is pure silver. Yes, and we've been told the condition is brought about by drinking the groundwater. Indeed. That bell was also the reason why the original inhabitants of this area decided to forsake it. It seemed that the Bell of Ruin caused a devastating disaster. To those who have gained entry into this sanctum, heed our words. You must not ring the Bell of Ruin.
I wonder if these were... Oh, my brain's thought of something. This ancient civilization that was more superiorly advanced. I wonder if these were the Azran. Just a curious idea. I wonder if they were the Azran.
I can't help but wonder what disaster this bell has caused. An enormous bell made of pure silver, and the locals with their peculiar condition. It's not too hard to imagine what happened. It was probably the same calamity as the one that happened over 10 years ago.
And that is...
Well, what disaster happened to this town before Labyrinthia was built?
The legendary fire.
Now, let us contemplate the following scenario. What would happen if the Bell of Ruin was sounded during the fire festival?
Oh, everyone who heard it would fall unconscious.
As it was an annual fire festival, all the townsfolk were assembled in the town square.
Oh dear.
Therefore, on the night of the fire festival over 10 years ago, all the residents instantly lost consciousness when the bell was struck.
Oh no.
Had it been even just slightly windy that day, the fire lit from the Great Witch Bezella would have gone out of control. and they would have spread throughout the town with no one left to stop them. Because everyone was unconscious. Exactly. That also includes the 2 girls who were in the belfry.
Isabella and I.
You were the closest to the source of the sound, so it was inevitable. When you recovered consciousness, it was already too late. The town had been swallowed by the flames, as a fire dragon had come to burn it. That was a calamity caused by the bell.
Calamity.
You say here that the cause of the calamity is the Great Witch Bezella. That night, in this very town, Bezella was more than a mythical persona.
Bezella. She's losing it again.
This is dissociation.
The Bell of Ruin. Bezella.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. And now, with more and more pieces of the puzzle coming together, that's kind of a problem. But just how the whole picture will look, we'll have to see next time. Because for now, we're going to go ahead and end off this video here. If you have enjoyed this episode of Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, then do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and to share this stuff so people know that it exists. My name has been Supersonic Player. You guys have been a fantastic audience, and I shall see you all next time.